Okay, so I'm filming with my phone because I'm in the kitchen. Obviously, I can't bring my PC down here, and I don't even know where to look. But I'm going to show you how I make my gravy, as we Italians call it. You guys might call it sauce, in my meatballs. A lot of people have different variations on how they make it. I like it very simple. I don't like a lot of oregano. I don't like a lot of spices. I don't put sausage in the sauce. So you'll see how I make it. Usually, if I'm not doing music, I love to be in the kitchen cooking or baking. And I'm normally cranking tunes on the Alexa behind me, but trying to stay away from the copyright since I have enough of that on my channel. So let's get started. All right, so to cut my onions, first I just cut them into chunks like you normally would, just square them or cube them, whatever you call it. But I like to use, this is called a veggie chopper. If you guys don't have one of these, it's from the Veggie Chop. And this box is so gross because I've had this for like 9 years, but I use this to get the onions really fine. I don't like big chunky onions in my sauce. So I like them just small enough to add flavor to the sauce, but kind of melt away as you cook it in the olive oil. So I'm also gonna use this for the garlic because no one wants to take one big chunk of garlic. They just want to taste the garlic. And you can't make sauce without real garlic, so please don't even go there. Okay, so as I'm opening the can of Hunt's, I realized that I got tomato sauce. When you are making your sauce from scratch and you're getting paste, you should be getting tomato puree. But we're gonna try it. I mean, it can't hurt. So I have the olive oil heated up in here. I'm going to scrape the onions and the garlic inside here. Now you wanna make sure your oil's hot. I'm not an awesome cook. I know my way around the kitchen, so hopefully you get a couple of tips from me, but never put onions and garlic in cold oil. It just gets soggy and nasty. You want it sizzling when it drops in. But you also want to make sure you don't burn it. Ooh, steamy. Now, if your pan isn't nasty and have marks all over it, you're doing something wrong. That adds to the flavor. So have a really old, good pan. You want the paste to be added first, and you don't add the sauce or the puree to the pot until the paste starts to get a little darkened, but make sure it doesn't burn at the bottom. So the paste is in here, the 2 cans of puree. I'm gonna keep saying puree because that's what it should be. Gonna let that heat up a little bit, and then I'm going to add a can of water for each of them. And that makes it so it's the right consistency. All right, the water is in there. Now I'm just gonna let this heat up a little bit and start to come to a little bubble so we can add the meatballs to it. I love Hunt's because it comes up really, really red. It's got this bright red to it. All I add to my sauce after doing the onions and the garlic is a little salt. That's it. On to the meatballs. All right, so I use about 3 pounds of beef. I like the 80%. I don't want it fat-free. I never mix pork in mine. Some people like to mix pork. I do all hamburger, all beef. So for 3 pounds, I add 2 eggs, which not only holds it together when you form the balls, it gives it moisture. I add garlic salt, of course. And then, hello, pay me. Progresso breadcrumbs. I get the Italian style. That adds the flavor to it. So not only do the eggs add moisture to your balls and keep them firm when you when you roll them, some people don't like eggs. So what I like to do, and I do this in addition to the eggs, is I put in almost stale bread soaked in milk. Milk actually adds moisture to it. And I don't know, it just makes it so good. So you make sure you cut off all the crust. No one wants brown crust in it. And you try to cut the bread up as fine as possible because you don't want to take a bite into a meatball and have a big chunk of dry bread. So I'm gonna cube this. I don't know if you can see this. And then I'm gonna soak it in milk for a little while. All right, so the bread soaked in milk is in here, the eggs are in here, the garlic salt's in here, and my Progresso Italian style breadcrumbs are in here. Now comes the fun part, or the disgusting part, depending on who you are. I never like doing this. Take off all your jewelry, Make sure your nails are cut and your hands are washed and get into it. All right, the gravy's nice and bubbly. Got to start to form our balls. I just take, I don't know, about a tablespoon. I don't know if you can see me. This is impossible. Just round them in the palm of your hand. They don't have to be perfect. Don't round them too much. Some people don't like them dense. I like mine soft. And plop them in.
And your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you. And the way you look tonight. With each word, your tenderness grows. There in my ear. And that laugh, because you know that is my foolish heart. Lovely, never let a change. Keep that breathless jump. Won't you be the rain that
So that's it, the meatballs are all in. You want to turn your heat or flame down to really low and let it simmer. Keep stirring it every now and then so you don't burn the bottom, but it smells marvelous all day long. And you can wait a little while and get other errands done. Anthony, make sure you stir the gravy. You don't want it to burn. Anthony, you stirring that gravy? All right, the meatballs are done. Now, normally you would serve this obviously with the pasta. I'm gonna rush. I got some music to do. I usually use rigatoni or ziti. Raviolis are a favorite around here. But let's just have the meatballs and see how they are. Ooh, it looks like a perfect denseness. Sauce smells good. The gravy. I love my balls. I think you will too. Mangia, tutti.